He is the Panthers' all-time leading rusher. He is the host of the Ducks of a Feather podcast and more. Good to see you, Jonathan, and appreciate you spelling your name the proper way. I do as well. No H on the front of Jonathan. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Only the right way.
Hey, is there a player who would not want to play for Dan Lanning?
I don't think so. If you don't want to play for Dan Lanning, maybe that's a red flag, right? Dan has done everything right in the sense of him being in Oregon from day one. And I say he's done everything right because he's done it his way. You look at this team, you look at the roster, you look at the leaders on this team. It's all about his DNA. Yeah. And if you're a player and you want to go to a college and you want to play for someone, you want someone to lead you in that way. Allowing you to cultivate and because as I don't know if you have kids, but you have kids and it's your DNA, right? But they're still going to be their own person, and you give them allowances to take leaps and to be themselves and to grow into who they are supposed to be under your watch and under your your boundary and your protocols and whatnot. And I think he's done such a great job of just really dialing in on those types of things as far as these guys' personalities and who they are to each other as a team.
So I've heard this a lot, Jonathan, about Lanning and what he's done in Oregon, and people will say he's brought an SEC sensibility to the program with Oregon. Does that tick you off at all when you hear that, or does that have meaning to you about how he's built this roster in this team in the construct of the Big Ten?
It doesn't tick me off one bit. I mean, for a long time, SEC has been the standard, right? The proof is in the pudding as far as how many guys have gone to the league. You look at Alabama and Coach Saban and everything he's been able to do recruiting-wise, and not just recruiting, but executing a game plan and having the right, coaches around you to basically get the things that you want done in an appropriate manner. I look at, how Oregon's been able to, find success this year. It looks a lot different every single game. The games that you're supposed to ground and pound, we finally are able to do that in a way that's not, let's outrun everyone. It's no, we're going to line up. Our offensive line is going to beat your defensive line, and we're going to run it down your throat. And then on the defensive side of the ball, more importantly, we're going to figure out how to stop the run when we have to. Those wet games, those windy games, the games where you have to have grit, I'm starting to see a lot of that SEC, a lot of that, old school Big Ten football where, everyone, dreams of, playing in those types of games, right? Where you can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You have to show, yourself as a physical football team. And they've been able to do that this year for sure.
Or the Iowa game, right?
Mm-hmm. The Iowa game. And I mean, really, I look at, the Wisconsin game, like just certain games where, a team's going to take it to you in their way, right? They're going to try to play the slow game. They're going to try to run the clock. They're going to try to do the things to keep the ball out of your hands. And you fold into that a little bit, and then you take off running. So yep. I look at games in the past where for no reason, we play a Northwestern team, right? They're a good running team, and that's what they're going to lean their hat on. That game, in the past would be a 31-30 win. Given the type of defenses that I've been seeing out of Oregon, and so the progression has been huge, and it's all because of Dan Lanning and the staff.
Do you like where I know you like where Oregon is right now? Where do you need them to be in the next couple of weeks going into the playoff?
I don't want them to peak yet. I'm a firm believer in peaking at the right time. And I think right now there's so much football left to be played. In essence, it's over past regular season, middle of the season, right? So we're halfway through the season. right, quote unquote. But really, if you want to get to where you want to go, you're not even there yet, right? So, to me, I think we defensively, I like where we are. I like, you're able to show up and win in the trenches. Offensively, I think pass protection against a good pass rush, I think that's something that we still need to confirm, because keeping your quarterback upright when these big games come into play towards the end of the season, you're going to have the playoffs, you're going to play better teams. And so you're going to have to be able to protect your quarterback so that way you can deploy your offense the way you need to score points, because you can't lean on, the Penn State, let's round it and pound it type of game in the playoffs unless you absolutely have to. But you're gonna need to pass the ball, and you're gonna need to keep your quarterback upright. So I think pass protection is something that I would love to see us, really dial in on. Especially, you got USC coming in town this weekend. That'll be a good test for us, and then we finish off with UW. And you know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to cause havoc. They're going to try to get, Dante Moore off of his green dot. So you have to figure out a way to make sure he's upright. That's really my main concern. Yeah, running game, we got it in the bag. Defensively, I feel like we can stop anyone. But when it comes to, protecting the quarterback, that's how you can get out of sequence.
Hey, if you like this channel, become a season ticket holder for Hot Mic by clicking the subscribe button below and join our conversation in the comments section. Agree or disagree, we'll join.
So Chad and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. Our perception of Indiana last year at this time compared to now, we're discussing their strength of schedule and whether or not they should be wherever they should be ranked in the playoff. Now it's like their validation was going on the road and beating Oregon. Tell us what you learned about Indiana when you saw them and what you've seen this year from that group.
That quarterback is everything. Without him, they're just a regular team. They're just mediocre. I love the coach. He does a good job of motivating in his own way. Doesn't pretend to be anyone that he's not. And you can see that, right? You can sniff out the fake ones, and there's a lot of them. Trust me, I see it every week. I'm like, this guy. But there's a couple of them in the Big Ten. But looking at how he runs the ship and the loyalty that he has to his staff, the guys that he's brought in, those are character building, momentum shifts, right? When you're building a culture, when you're building a team and a squad, having those guys that you're loyal to and that they're loyal to you as well, it means a lot for the organization, for the players that are coming in. There's a lot of familiarity there. But that quarterback that they got from Cal last year, he's having a Heisman season.
Yeah,
so
he is.
And watching him play Oregon, he threw that pick and he just bounced right back. And as a scout, that's what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. He has the talent. He can run the ball. He can do all the things. When things go bad, how do you bounce back? How do you respond? Do you tank? Do you just have a crappy game the rest of the game? Or what? Are you looking for help? No one's coming to save you. And you saw that in that Oregon game because he lifted that team up on his shoulders and he carried them.
One of the factors I look at, you mentioned those coaches, it just got me thinking, like, if you complain about travel in the Big Ten, if you're already complaining about that's one of those facts, like, I see right through you on that.
I immediately thought of when you said, this guy was Oregon's last opponent, PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the row the boat thing and all of that. Like, I mean, he's done a nice job at Minnesota, but Lincoln Riley, right? Let's talk about the opponent this travel. Week. Yeah, and now all these rumors about he's going to leave USC to go to Auburn or go back, try to get into the SEC at some point.
Well, no, you talk about who was it? Rutgers?
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
Gundy.
The head coach there. Can't think of his name
Mike
right
Gundy.
now. Yeah, Gundy. Well, we don't have the bank account that Oregon has. It's like, well, hold on, guy. Now you're telling your team that you suck.
Right.
So how are they going to?
Yeah.
So how are they going to show up on Saturday and play well? Because now they know that their head coach doesn't believe in them because they don't have a bank account. So it blows my mind how these coaches go onto media and just handle themselves the way they do with coaching. They are being coached. They have PR teams too, and they still choose to do stupid things and say stupid stuff to dig themselves a hole. And then you want another, and you think you're going to get another coaching job? Come on, man.
Well, it's also funny, Jonathan. It's never enough for any coach at any job, right? Like they just want unlimited. They don't want to be told no at any point. Like, hey, this outside linebacker wants $800,000, or he's going to go here. You must give that to me, or I'm going to flirt with other jobs, even though the other jobs can't give unlimited resources to every single player, right? It just feels like it's never going to be enough for any of these top-level coaches.
I mean, there's always going to be something, right? And I think you have to figure out how you're going to recruit, right? You have to recruit talent, but you got to recruit the right type of talent. And that's the difference. That's the difference between college and pro level. I look at Dan Morgan right now with Carolina Panthers. He does more than just review talent. He reviews the heart. He reviews the mind. He reviews your upbringing. Do you love football? Do you love football enough to where you are willing to compete for a job and not feel like you have to, be given all the roses and the bouquet and the red carpet just to show up on Saturday or Friday, or in this case, every single day of the week you're playing football in college, it seems like. But, you got to get guys that love football, and you got to be able to figure out what those guys are and what they look like. And I think it's getting harder and harder because you do have to have the right balance. You are going to have the guy that's an $800,000 player that you have to pay, and you have to be able to communicate that to the people that oversee the funds that are coming in, right? And so there's a perfect mixture, a perfect storm in how you handle yourself as a head coach in that scenario. And if you don't have the confidence to be able to, articulate and to be able to, get your plan out there rolling, you're going to be up a creek without a paddle.
So I love that you're talking about this whole subject, and we'll definitely talk about the Panthers also. But reminded me of a story from the weekend. DeQuan Finn, who is a 7th-year player at Miami of Ohio, is leaving his team after being there for 11 months. He's a starter on a bowl-eligible team, and he's decided to depart to get ready for the NFL draft. I'm crossing him off the list if I'm a GM in the NFL as a draftable guy for that decision alone. Am I crazy in feeling that way about someone who would do this?
Depends on what type of player he is, right? If he's a generational talent, you can't cross him off your list. If he's a guy that can just be a role player and that's not going to, cause any ripple effect on your team, then yeah, you can find another guy, because at the end of the day, he's a Jag, right? He's just another guy, right? And the truth of the matter is, a lot of these players that are making these types of decisions, they're having their counsel in their ear saying, you are a generational talent. When in all essence, no, you're just a guy that has to work hard, that's going to have to overcome some things. And if you overcome some things, that actually will get you paid, right? Because, we all grow from adversity. We were actually created for adversity, if you think about it. And if you shy away from it, you're only limiting yourself and your team. And so if I see a guy that says, you know what, hands up, I quit, I need to find another situation because this is too hard, that's a red flag for me, unless you're a dog, unless you are an absolute freak of nature dog. And we can see the situation for what it is on that team, because sometimes there is a valid reason for why a guy wants to leave or for why a guy wants to sit back, because maybe the coaching staff is playing funny games. And we see that happening. We just talked about some of these coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're losing their minds too. So, I think we're all in a unfamiliar territory when it comes to college ball because it's so it's a slippery slope when it comes to what's the difference between college ball and professional football right now because these guys are basically free agents every single week. Like, I don't know, but yeah, man, time will tell.
So maybe in time we see anything but any position but a quarterback win MVP. But we didn't see Derrick Henry in his 2,000-yard season get any run for MVP that year. Jonathan Taylor is not going to get any run for MVP this year. I don't think he will. What does he have to do to in order to actually get this award? Because I mean, the dude is balling right now.
I mean, he is balling, and it's incredible. What he's had, I don't know, how many 3 touchdown games he's had this year?
3, I think.
3?
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah, he's coming off one with the Titans for sure.
And Daniel Jones, he's doing a great job of just blending in. He came to the Colts and saw the fact that, hey, they have Jonathan Taylor. I had Saquon Barkley in New York. They have a better management, it seems like, with the new ownership. She's doing a great job of, paying attention to every single detail and hearing every single person on that team. It seems like she's very involved and intentional with, the information, which I respect. And so I look at Jonathan Taylor's situation. It might require for the season to continue to go as it's going for the rest of the teams. Because to me, I look at if there has to be another player to contend with him, it would be maybe Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield just, they're kind of struggling a little bit, trying to find their course. He started off hot. I'm thinking to myself, maybe Daniel Jones, because you can argue that. I'm looking at Sam Darnold, but then he's going to have his games where it's up and down. Like there's really it's hard to figure out who is actually solidified as an MVP candidate. Is it Josh Allen again? And so in essence, this might be the year that could be potentially made for a running back to get the MVP because not one person is just running away with it.
So I said 3. He's done it 4 times. 4 times, 3 touchdowns in a game. In NFL history, only LaDainian Tomlinson has done that.
Oof. And there's a lot more games left.
I know, man. And he's got an extra game. He's got this extra game now. But I don't hear any buzz like that. I'm just like, oh, he'll get Offensive Player of the Year. It's like, no. That's not the same. That's the MVP's the MVP.
It's a cop out. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you this: who do they play next?
I've got that for you right here. I know they're done with the Titans, unfortunately for them.
That's like one of those stat packing games.
Yeah, man. They got the Chiefs coming up.
All right, so the Chiefs. So this is going to be a big
Sunday
game
night
because
football.
Patrick Mahomes is going to have to figure out how they're going to start going on a win streak, or they're going to miss out on the playoffs. So there's going to be a lot of buzz on this, right? But past MVP guy against Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Potential MVP favorite, right? So this could be an opportunity for him to make a national splash of why he is the MVP. In my opinion, he should be the runner-up. Not the runner-up. He is the front runner.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no one else running away with it. Literally, he's running away with the ball every single week and making a case for why he is the most dominant player right now. And if he continues to do it, there's no reason why not to say that he could be one of the ones to be the MVP as a running back.
Yeah, Colts at Chiefs. That's the afternoon game this coming Sunday. That should be prime time.
Yep,
should be
noon game. I think it's Bucks Rams is the
Rams.
The Sunday night.
That's another
game.
good game. Who's your best team?
We're gonna need those, but we're gonna need those Rams to beat the Bucks.
Yeah, man.
For the Carolina Panther fans over here.
Hey, Panthers are
the quietest 6-5 team in the league with a winning record.
Yeah.
You look at you. It's kind of like I still have the same mindset of what I expect the Panthers to be, and then I see them, winning games. They've been competitive. I kind of view them like the Cardinals. The Cardinals lose close games, and the Panthers are the opposite. They're winning games.
Yeah, man. Hats off to Canales and again Dan Morgan getting the free agency right this year, getting the draft picks right. Look at this past game, Territory McMillan, T-Mac, and you're seeing Xavier Legette coming in into his own now, and just needing a little bit of time, a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of confidence can go a long way. And them losing to the Saints last week, 1-8 Saints coming to your hometown, and you lose to them, and it's a game that means double the meaning, right? Because it's a division game, and it's on the line, and for whatever reason, you kind of freeze up on offense. They did enough defensively to make that a game that was winnable, and so leaving that game, it was cool to just see the shift going into this Atlanta game. Because they understood what was at stake. They understood why they lost the week before. It was no question about what happened. The quarterback played better. The offensive coordinator called the better game. And they ran their playbook. They literally ran through. I couldn't really tell you. In previous games, I can kind of tell you what play was coming next type of thing, right? Very, very, very vanilla when it came to what they were doing. And then all of a sudden, this Atlanta Falcons team, Bryce Young just has their number, it seems like. And I think what happened, Atlanta, tried to copy and paste what the Saints did, which was we're going to go all out and stop the run. And they did. But they forgot about the fact that Bryce Young, was a Heisman winner. And
that touchdown throw was awesome. That one.
Oh man,
that was a great throw, man.
It was the vintage Bryce that we all been waiting to see, right? And we see it here and there. But what I really loved most about that game was the fact that he was battling. He was battling through chronic injury. He was battling through his ankle. He came out of the game. He went into the locker room, came back, and had a Muhammad Ali type performance, right? Like a boxer in a ring. And he didn't back down. And I think that sends such a huge message to the rest of the team, because now it's like, oh, I can buy into this. I can buy into this guy in the huddle. I believe that he's going to do whatever it takes. So why not me? Why not us? And I had that same feeling with number one, Cam Newton, right? Anytime Cam stepped in that huddle, we could have been down 28-0, right? I felt like we was going to win the game. Could have had 6 minutes left on the clock. We can still win this game, right? That's the type of belief that you're going to have if you're going to be a playoff team. And I think we are starting to see that as, Carolina's over here. I'm a true Carolina Panther fan. And we went down there to Atlanta, and we basically said, hey, look, we're bringing a broom. We ain't cleaning up a mess, but we here to sweep.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
Cam Newton stepped in like a damn defensive end. I mean,
he was huge.
Standing next to that guy, it's probably pretty easy to believe in him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You see his size,
Jonathan, you and I are roughly the same age. I remember I was on the sidelines for the Titans at the time, and I just remember Cam Newton coming in. And when I saw him, I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, this is like a defensive end from like the mid-2000s era.
I remember the training camp where he was in Nashville, the joint practice, and seeing him walk out and thinking, this is a defensive tackle. Yeah. This is not just a defensive tackle. It's a big defensive tackle. Yeah.
Man, I dreaded that practice.
The joint practice.
I did not want to be in Tennessee at a joint practice.
The heat.
I remember seeing Derrick Henry too that week. I was like, that boy is huge. I remember seeing him at the Nike camp when he was in high school, because I was there like helping out in Oregon, and I remember seeing him then. I'm like, dang, he got bigger. That's insane.
Another freaking nature.
So many defenders have said the same thing.
Yeah, man. Hey, good to see you, man, and hopefully we do this again soon. Great chat.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, man. Later. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to OutKick Hot Mic.
Daily content and more at OutKick Hot Mic on YouTube.